In this mini lecture, we're going to consider how to calculate the weighted average atomic mass of elements that have 3 or more isotopes. This is really just an extension of the method that we use to determine the weighted average atomic mass of elements with 2 isotopes. But it's helpful to go through an example in detail so that you can understand it. So, some elements do consist of 3 or more isotopes, and one that we're going to talk about is silicon. Silicon has 3 stable isotopes: silicon 28, silicon 29, and silicon 30, and you can see the percentages of each of them: 92.23 for silicon 28, 4.67 for silicon 29, and 3.10 for silicon 30. The atomic mass of silicon, as you would find it in the periodic table that applies to any physical sample of silicon, would be the weighted average of these 3 isotopic masses. And they are, the weighted average is calculated in the same way that we did before. The individual isotopic masses are shown here for silicon 28, silicon 29, and silicon 30. Now with the percentages and the atomic masses, we can apply the weighted average equation as we have before. In this case, the weighted average atomic mass of silicon would be given by the decimal fraction equivalent to 92.23% for silicon 28 times the mass of silicon 28 plus the decimal fraction for silicon 29 times the mass of silicon 29 isotope, and 0.0310, the decimal fraction equivalent to 3.1% times the isotopic mass of silicon 30. So if we plug in the values for the masses given in the previous line, our calculation is shown here. The contribution from silicon 28 is in the first term. The contribution to the atomic mass of silicon from silicon 29 is in the second term, and that from silicon 30 is in the third term. And if we do the multiplications, we end up with these AMU values, and the weighted average atomic mass of silicon is 28.08 AMU. Most periodic tables show 28.09. That value comes if you use more significant figures than we did in this example. But silicon atomic mass weighted average value is shown to be about 28.08 AMU.